Hello, thank you for stopping by. My name is Becky and this is BecxReadz, and today it's going to be a March reset, February wrap-up kind of day in my life vlog, I guess. I have a lot of like little things that I need to get done around the house today. It's a gorgeous day outside. It's going to be in like the low 60s, so I would like to also take the dog out for a walk. I put on this flower shirt because I can feel spring coming. I can feel it. But before I do any of that, I need to wrap up my February and share with you the books that I read. So let me start with talking about the one book that I didn't feature in either a vlog or a weekly reads wrap up because I just finished it this week. And that is Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. So this was one of my most anticipated releases of this year. The first time I read this synopsis, I was just, yes, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. So I am so happy that I got an arc of this. This is about Shishishin, I think that's her name. Instead of saying Shishishin, I'm gonna go by the other name that she is known within this story, and that is Siobhan. So this is about Siobhan. She is pretty much just a lump of a creature. This could be a monster romance. She is a lump that has been living in the basement of this abandoned manor, just, you know, hibernating or whatnot, until these monster hunters come into her house and are trying to kill her. So she constructs a more physical form out of the things around her. She uses a chain for a backbone, scalped heads for hair. She uses the bones of her past victims to give herself bones and all that. And she tries to attack them, but she ends up getting injured and they chase her off a cliff. And there she is discovered by this human named Homily, who mistakes Siobhan for a human herself. So she takes care of her, she nurses her back to health. And in doing so, Siobhan forms this attachment to Homily, and it is their romance. However, there are some secrets that come forth that concern Homily and her family and how they are tied to Siobhan. And let me tell you, this book was so much fun. It was so freaking cute, but morbid. If you have a dark sense of humor and you like the morbidly grotesque things, if you don't mind some like humorous depictions of like rotting corpses and like digging into your own body to like peel away your skin, if you're into that kind of humor, you will love this story. It worked for me. Love that this had a non-human female main character, although she is able to turn herself into somewhat of a humanesque entity. Loved the sweet relationship development between Siobhan and Homily. I thought it was so incredibly cute. She is essentially a blob and a monster, so she doesn't really understand human ways. And so right away when she meets Homily, she's like, this is my girlfriend. Which was one of the things that I slightly disliked, but it wasn't enough for me to hate this story by any means. But I did feel like she cemented that relationship. This is my girlfriend. I'm going to meet her mother-in-law. I want her to be the mother that I can lay my eggs in and they can eat her from the inside out. She'd make a great host. That type of thing. It was just bam right away. But she comes to realize that she can't do that. She doesn't want to do that with Homily because Homily is somebody who makes her feel accepted and loved, and she doesn't want to destroy Homily. So she's fighting all of these natural instincts. If you are a big proponent of consent in your fantasy romances, here you go. The consent these two have is so wonderful. And for her to be a blob and understand that, there should be no reason why humans can't understand it, because this thing is a blob. And she understands that. Homily wears like a scarf around her neck for most of the story because she's hiding something she doesn't want Siobhan to see. And this blob of a monster is like, anytime she like gets a peek of what's underneath this, she turns away. She's like, I don't want to take away that trust. When she wants to show me, she will show me. And Homily too is like, she wants to touch Siobhan, but she doesn't unless Siobhan initiates that. So freaking sweet. This has absolutely no spice at all in it. This does have asexual rep in it though, and it also has like asexual reproduction rep in it, which is interesting. There is a character named Blueberry in here. Oh my god. So sweet, but there was a moment in this book where it was hard for me to read it because I was like, oh, poor Blueberry. It was a difficult scene to get through, but I loved that character. I'm not going to tell you who Blueberry is, but Blueberry's a cute character. This does have some darker elements to it besides, you know, like the gore and the shit like that. It has some mental and physical abuse from family members. It has some like trauma and PTSD in it. And it has some animal abuse too, so just know that. But this is definitely one that I am happy to announce that I freaking loved. I hope more people read this. It is an ARC, so it comes out on April 2nd. Because it's so unique, it stands out. It is a fantasy romance, but there's no spice in it. It's from a monster's point of view, and I just freaking loved it. Now let's move on to the rapid fire wrap-up so you can see all of the books I read and the ratings that I gave them. So in February, I read a total of 17 books, which is way more than I ever intended to read, let me tell you. And my average star rating was 4.03, so that was pretty high. I had 1 6-star, and that was The Wolf King by Atlee Wykes. I had 6 5-stars, including The Beast and the Beauty by Arissa May, Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell, and Heart of the Fae, Veins of Magic, The Faceless Woman, and The Raven's Ballad, all by Emma Hamm. I had 2 4.5 stars, including Legacy Girl by Jill M. Bean and Shardless by Stephanie Fisher. I had 1 4-star read, and that was The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook. I had 1 3.5-star read, and that was The Witch Collector by Charissa Weeks. I had 4 3-star reads, including Eva Evergreen, A Semi-Magical Witch by Julie Abe, Wed to the Lich by Layla Faye, Curse of the Troll by Emma Hamm, and Last Dragon Standing by G.A. Aiken. And I had 2 2-star reads, including Mountains Made of Glass by Scarlett St. Clair, and Bride of the Sea by Emma Hamm. I did 3 weekly reads wrap-ups where I talked about the books that I read each week, so if you want to hear more in-depth thoughts of what I thought of any of these books, they will be linked down in the description. You can check out this weekly reads to hear my thoughts on The Witch Collector, Wed to the Lich, The Wolf King, Legacy Girl, Shardless, and Veins of Magic. I wrote a lot that week. You can check out this weekly reads, which was my Emma Hamm week. I read The Faceless Woman, The Raven's Ballad, The Curse of the Troll, and Last Dragon Standing. And you can check out this weekly reads where I talked about The Lighthouse Witches and Bride of the Sea. I did 1 reading vlog where I read Beauty and the Beast fantasy romance retellings. This was a collaboration with Crystal at Books Forever After. And in this, I read The Beast and the Beauty, Heart of the Fae, and Mountains Made of Glass. So if you want to hear my thoughts on any of those, check that out, and then check out Crystal's reading vlog as well. I participated in 2 live shows this month. One was for my Black Hat Book Coven. We talked about Eva Evergreen's Semi-Magical Witch. That will be linked down below if you want to hear mine and other people's thoughts on this book. The other was for the Outlander read-along, hosted by Jen at the Book Refuge. I, as well as several other ladies, talked about Outlander, which I actually read last month, but if you want to hear our thoughts on that, check that out down below as well. I did 1 bookstore adventure vlog this month, and that was to Watchung Booksellers in Montclair, New Jersey. So if you want to see me explore that bookstore, check that out down below. I created 1 new tag this month, and that was the Share the Booktube Love tag. I will have a playlist link down below. If you want to do this tag yourself, please by all means do so. You can do it at any time of the year, not just for February. It's just sharing the love for some fellow booktubers. I did 2 sort of informative videos. One was my Amazon hack for readers. It's a really short video. Go check that out. It won't take you any time at all. And then the other one was bookish gift suggestions based on somebody's love language. And the only other video that I did this month that didn't fit into any sort of category was my searching for my Booktube Bookmate video, which took me since Christmas to do. So go check that out to see who was my 2023 Booktube Bookmate. I feel like I did a lot of freaking videos this month. Lost in your eyes, under your spell. Oh, it's like we've always known it. Even though it's new, I can already tell. Oh, that this feeling is taking over. Can we take our time? I wanna savor us. want to share where I sourced these books just so I can keep on track of myself of where I am getting books from. I listened to 5 audiobooks this month. 3 of these came from Evergreen, which I didn't own the physical copies for any of those, so I got my money's worth out of Evergreen this month. I listened to The Lighthouse Witches on Libro FM, and I listened to The Witch Collector from Libby. I read 3 physical books this month, which were The Wolf King. This book was actually a Christmas gift from Jack in the Bookstack, so thank you, Jack. I love this book. It was my favorite of the month. Eva Evergreen, A Semi-Magical Witch, and Wed to the Lich. Wed to the Lich and Eva Evergreen are 2 books that I have purchased since the beginning of this year. I had to purchase them for very specific reasons. This was a book club pick, and this is a book that I had to read for a friend, so I did spend money on those, but I read them, so that's good. And I read 9 ebooks this month. All of the Emma Ham books, Legacy Girl, and The Beast and the Beauty, I got all through Kindle Unlimited while I still had the service. They gave me 2 months free, so I didn't spend any money on these books, and I was trying to read them while that was still in effect. The only arc that I read was Someone You Could Build a Nest In, which I got from NetGalley. So that was the February wrap-up portion of this reset. Now let me get on to getting some things done around this house. I will be back to share with you a haul. Something I never in my life thought I would do is make my own laundry detergent. But you know what? Times are getting tough out here, folks. And I'm trying to save money. So I found like a recipe on how to make your own laundry detergent. Not the liquid kind, just like the powder kind. That's what I'm gonna do today. Let me show you what I bought. I bought a big box of baking soda, a big box of washing soda. Don't ask me what the fuck the difference is, I don't know. A bag of Epsom salt. I got 2 canisters of sea salt because I couldn't remember how much the recipe told me. So, you know, if I don't use it for this, I can use it for cooking. And I got a little thing of lavender essential oil. That's pretty much all the ingredients there are. Let's say all that cost about $25. Which is more than a package of Tide Pods, which is what we usually use. But I am going to make this. I'm going to see how much it makes. Then I'm going to keep track of how many loads of laundry I do and how long it takes me to get through the whole thing and see if it saves me any money. If it doesn't save me any money, once I'm done with this, then I'll go back to buying the freaking Tide Pods. But I'm trying to see how much money I can save, okay? That did not make nearly as much as I thought it would. I used this giant ass canister for that little bitty amount. But I don't want to make more than this because I don't know if, because it doesn't have any chemicals in it, if it will go bad. I didn't research that. It says to use 1 tablespoon of this for a small load and 2 tablespoons for a large load, which most of my laundry loads are large because I pack that thing to the max. So we'll see how long this lasts and how many loads of laundry I can get done with this. And I might have to downgrade it to a smaller container at some point. But yeah, this is my first foray into making my own laundry detergent. It's like living in ye old days. Let's end out this monthly reset the same way I ended the last one, with a haul. Now, I've been telling you that I've been trying to watch how much I spend on physical books, and while this might look like I spent a lot, most of these were gifts. I only actually bought 2 physical books this month. My sister, bless her soul, she loves to give gifts. That is how she shows her love. And for Valentine's Day, she gave me a bouquet of books. And there were, I think, 6 books in there. I had read or tried to read 4 of the 6. So I took some back and exchanged them. So here are the books that essentially she gave me for Valentine's Day. I got Sons of Darkness by Gore Mahanti. I've seen this book, Jack, at Jack in the Book Stack. Again, hi Jack. I saw this on one of her hauls, and she shared these stunning stenciled edges, and what do you know? Those caught my eye. So while I was in Barnes & Noble exchanging, I saw this. I was like, oh, I remember that book. I read the synopsis, and it sounded like an epic fantasy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Epic fantasy is really hard for me to get into, but it has something to do with wolves, and there's a girl, and I really honestly don't know much else from that. I'm willing to give it a try, and I don't know, maybe I'll have to convince Jack to do a buddy read with me so I'll have motivation to get through it, but that is one of the books that essentially I got for Valentine's Day. Another one that I exchanged for is one that, again, outside of what I would normally read, simply because it has a school setting, and I hate school settings. But I saw how beautiful this book was, okay? And several people I know have loved this book. My friend Kristen on Instagram, she loved this book. It is a dark romance, Gothicana. Yeah. So I've heard about this book forever, since it was way back in like indie published. I've heard about this book, and all I knew was it was set at a school, and I was like, I don't want to read a dark academia romance. I don't, but the frickin' sprayed edges caught my attention, so you know, what do you do? It does have that on the cover, as well as some pretty end papers. It's also just got like really nice chapter headings. Hopefully, maybe this will be something that I'll like. Let's hope. A book that my sister gave me originally in my bouquet is The House in the Pines by Anna Reyes. I'm thinking this is probably a thriller. Oh, Maya was a high school senior when her best friend dropped dead. All right, so maybe it's a like murder mystery. I don't know, but it was one that I hadn't read, so I figured I would give it a go. And the last book she gave me in that bouquet that I hadn't read was Rouge by Mona Awad. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this cover is appealing. I do like this cover. I've heard Allie at All I Do Is Read, she read this, and she said it was weird. So all I know about it is it has some like commentary on like the beauty industry or whatnot, and maybe it's like a horror, maybe? I don't know, but it's cool. It's a cool cover. So I'm willing to give this one a shot too. And my mother actually sent me a book for Valentine's Day as well. She sent me Silent Lies by Neva Altej. This is book 8 in the Perfectly Imperfect series. So I have 2 of the books that I enjoyed from this series. I just need to get the rest of them now. But I have already read this. I really love this mafia romance. It's like a cozy mafia romance. But yeah, thank you, Mom, for that. My sister Tammy also sent me a book for Valentine's Day. She sent me The Lost Library, which I think is a middle grade. It's a super short middle grade. I know nothing about this. I'm assuming it's about a library. Oh, look, it's got a little paw print on the cover, so maybe there's some sort of like animal familiar in this book. I'm not seeing any like illustrations or anything, but it's short. I'll give it a try. Maybe I will end up loving it. So thank you, sister, for that. I took some of my books that didn't sell on Pango to my local used bookstore. And I only found 1 book this time because I'm really getting tired of that used bookstore. I don't like their trade-in process. I think their prices are ridiculous for used books. But you know what? It's the only one I have nearest me. So I got Reign of Night by Sarah C. Rothel. I, again, know nothing about this. Not a freaking clue what it's about. All I know is it looks like an indie fantasy romance, and I do like indie fantasy romances. I have heard of Sarah C. Rothel. I don't know what book I've heard that's in my mind, but I've heard of this author. She has hunted him for years. Now if she could only kill him. Probably enemies to lovers, but yeah. This is one that I actually paid for this month. It cost me $2 after I had a $7 credit. The other book that I paid for this month is I finally got off the wait list for Owl Crate, and this month's book was Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. This is actually a book that I actually want to read. This is a witch hunter fantasy romance. It's young adult, but I wanted to read it, and I really do like this green cover. I like the moth in the center. It only does have block sprayed edges, which was kind of disappointing. I wish they would have put a design on there. I do prefer books with designs on the edges, but you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. It's got some really pretty end paper with some foiling. Got this beautiful "You Can't Renounce Your Heart," and then on the back it says, "I'm afraid you'll be the end of me." And then it's got reverse dust jacket art as well. The last book that I got this month is actually one that I had pre-ordered way back in November of last year, so I did not spend any money on it this month. And that is Between Despair and Hope by Jess Wisecup. This is a Bookish box edition. It is book 2 in the Divine Between series, which is an adult fantasy romance about an older female main character. Our main character is a mother. So this is book 2. She a chunker. Look at these stenciled edges though. I love them. They're so pretty. And in this, lavender actually is like mentioned throughout the story, so it makes sense that it's on there. But there is the front. There is the back. It does have beautiful end papers. I believe this is her daughter. It does come with a overlay. Sexy. That was that special edition that I can add to the other one that I have. How much did I spend on physical books? $42 exactly, which I gotta say, compared to the 100 and something I spent last month, we're gonna call this a success, people. We're gonna call it a success. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Let me know down in the comments, what was your favorite book that you read in February? But if you don't want to comment that, but would like to let me know that you made it to the end of this video, could you leave me a clothing emoji, since I made my own laundry detergent? And until my next video, thank you so much for watching, and let's have a great reading March. Bye.